Welcome to the Deeper Thinking podcast. The United States government has not only recovered unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs, what the public calls UFOs, but has spent decades reverse engineering technology that may not belong to humanity at all. At the forefront of this revelation stands J.Jacob Barber. The subject of UAPs has long been relegated to the margins of public discourse, a strange intersection of military secrecy, technological anomalies, and existential mystery. But when someone like J.Jacob Barber steps forward, someone whose background is verifiable, whose experiences are first-hand, and whose claims are supported by tangible evidence, the conversation shifts. He is not a faceless whistleblower operating from the shadows, nor is he a theorist stringing together second-hand accounts. Barber is a military veteran who claims to have spent 30 years working for the US government and its intelligence partners, both officially and unofficially. A man who has worked within the most secretive corridors of power, with access to intelligence that few can even fathom. And if what he says is true, then humanity is on the cusp of a revelation that could upend our understanding of history, technology, and consciousness itself. Barber's credibility is rooted in hard facts, not conjecture. A specialist in aerospace mechanics, a combat controller in Air Force Special Operations, and a holder of NATO top-secret security clearance, he claims to have spent 30 years recovering and studying UAPs under highly classified US government programs. His role, as he describes it, was not as an outsider peering into the mystery, but as an insider. Someone who was there, someone who transported and examined the technology that defies our understanding of physics. He speaks not of rumours, not of sources familiar with the matter, but of direct encounters with objects that should not exist. Unlike those who base their claims on fragmented hearsay, Barber brings verifiable evidence, a critical distinction that sets him apart in an arena rife with speculation. His story is backed by multiple former special operations personnel, all of whom have confirmed his background and work history. Even more striking, NewsNation, a well-respected investigative news organization, has conducted an independent inquiry into his claims. They were the first to bring his testimony to the public, and they did so with evidence, not just words, but video footage. In this footage, an egg-shaped craft is seen being transported by helicopter, perfectly aligning with Barber's descriptions of UAP recoveries. It is not an ambiguous, blurry speck in the sky. It is a physical, tangible object, undeniable in its existence, yet unaccounted for by conventional aerospace records. But video is just one piece of the puzzle. If Barber were an isolated voice, his claims would be easier to dismiss, but he isn't. 3 former Special Operations soldiers have stepped forward to corroborate his background and testimony, including Colonel John Blitch, a former Delta Force sniper, who has publicly stated his belief that Barber is telling the truth. Blitch has gone as far as to say that there has been an 80-year cover-up surrounding the recovery of non-human craft. A bold claim, but one that is increasingly difficult to refute as more individuals from within military and intelligence circles step forward with eerily similar accounts. The question that lingers is not, do these events have merit, but rather, why would so many people with high-level security clearances and military reputations risk everything to confirm them? The evidence does not stop there. Medical records provide yet another layer of validation, reinforcing the argument that Barber has been exposed to something beyond our current scientific comprehension. A Stanford professor specializing in radiation exposure reviewed Barber's medical history and found that his injuries were consistent with cases observed in other UAP-related encounters. Radiation sickness, unexplained cellular degradation, and neurological anomalies, these are not hypothetical afflictions, nor are they coincidental. His team reportedly suffered identical health complications, a disturbing pattern that suggests proximity to these objects has tangible biological consequences. If UAPs were simply misunderstood atmospheric phenomena, why would they leave physical scars on those who encountered them? Barber's willingness to bring his findings directly to Congress is yet another reason his claims cannot be dismissed as fringe speculation. He is not hiding behind anonymity. He is not selectively leaking information from behind a veil of secrecy. He is walking into the halls of power, meeting with elected officials, and demanding that the public be told the truth. If his testimony lacked credibility, it would not have reached policymakers. The very fact that he has been given a platform at this level signals that something significant is happening behind closed doors, something too large, too documented, and too corroborated to ignore. Beyond testifying, Barber has taken action. His organization, Skywatcher, is a coalition of former intelligence officers, special operations veterans, and scientists, all of whom are dedicated to collecting hard evidence on UAP activity. Their work is not about idle speculation. It is about gathering sensor data, capturing photographic evidence, and compiling documentation that proves UAPs are not only real, but being actively monitored by government and private institutions alike. Skywatcher's research provides a crucial counterweight to the slow drip-to-drip disclosures being carefully managed by intelligence agencies, a direct challenge to the idea that the public cannot handle the truth. Despite the mounting evidence, and skepticism is healthy. Extraordinary claims demand extraordinary proof. But what makes Barber's case impossible to dismiss outright is the sheer weight of verifiable evidence that surrounds it. His military credentials are real. His background has been corroborated. His medical records show physical effects linked to UAP encounters. His claims have been supported by other special operations personnel. His testimony has reached Congress. His organization is actively collecting data. And perhaps most importantly, there is video evidence of the very type of craft he claims to have retrieved. This is no longer just a story. It is a growing body of evidence pointing toward a reality that is far more complex, far more strange, and far more consequential than we have been led to believe. Whether one chooses to accept the full implications of Barber's claims or not, one thing is certain: his testimony cannot be ignored. If these objects respond to human consciousness, the study of UAPs may not be about reverse engineering mechanical systems, but about understanding the fundamental nature of thought itself. Barber's claims suggest that UAPs do not operate solely on mechanical principles, but on a level that interfaces directly with human consciousness. If psionics, or extratemporal abilities, are a key component of UAP research, this could indicate an entirely new understanding of consciousness as a fundamental force in the universe. The idea that cognition itself may be an interface for these craft leads to deeper implications. If these vehicles are not piloted in a conventional sense but function as extensions of a larger intelligence, then non-human entities may have mastered the fusion of mind and machine. This possibility raises profound questions about the future of human evolution. If humanity is capable of developing similar abilities, is this a natural next step, or has this knowledge been suppressed? Barber's account suggests an ongoing conflict over access to UAP technology, not just between nations, but between government factions, private aerospace firms, and rogue elements within intelligence agencies. The retrieval of classified data only to find hard drives missing and hidden underwater hints at an internal struggle between those pushing for disclosure and those working to suppress it. If UAP technology is being reverse engineered, then those in possession of it hold a monopoly on a paradigm-shifting breakthrough. The suppression of this knowledge suggests that UAP retrieval is not merely about discovery, it is about control. Barber's radiation sickness, along with cases like John Burroughs from the Rendlesham Forest incident, suggests that UAPs emit unknown forms of energy that may be hazardous to human biology. The possibility that prolonged exposure to these energy fields could cause cancer or neurological damage raises profound ethical concerns. If governments and private contractors are aware of these dangers yet continue their research in secret, they may be risking lives in pursuit of technological advancement. Whether these health effects are an unintended byproduct or an intentional defense mechanism remains unclear. The secrecy surrounding UAPs is not just about national security. It is about controlling information that could fundamentally alter human civilization. Governments may fear that disclosure would destabilize religious, philosophical, and scientific institutions, but the increasing number of credible witnesses, government hearings, and declassified documents suggests that a paradigm shift is inevitable. The public is being acclimated to the idea that we are not alone, and the slow release of information may be a controlled effort to manage the impact of this revelation. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Deeper Thinking podcast, an audio essay read by me, Holly, your digital narrator. Until next time.